Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching, thank you for coming. If you're new here, hi, I'm Tiara. If you're not, you already know who I am. Hello, I'm just coming to you guys random and wild. I'm actually doing a sit down video, can you believe it? I was influenced by Ashley Best Dressed to record this video and actually upload it because I feel like I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time, or just kind of have been talking about it with the people that are near to me, like my friends and family, but I just never, I didn't speak on it to you guys. And now is the time, I guess, I've just kind of been building up the courage to talk about it, and it's my guide to being single and how I'm finding out how to love myself and just find yourself really. There's a lot to this video that I want to get on, so I'm gonna start off now and in the intro here. So yeah, I want to start off with understanding how society brainwashes women to only live for, or to mainly live for, male attention. So I'll probably start off with just saying, by the way, I have my laptop in front of me because I told you it's a lot of information that I want to get on, and hopefully I can talk on it. Basically, throughout my childhood, I kind of feel like social media was leaning towards, or either just social media in general leads towards, obviously everyone just kind of showing themselves off and the best parts of their lives, and not really actually showing the bad sides of themselves, basically. And I feel like that kind of obviously is the start of wanting attention from male counterparts at a young age or whatever like that, and also assuming that women want to actually date men. First of all, who said? It's just like an assumption that you want to grow up, marry a nice man, and then have kids. But then in the flip side, it's just like, I feel like with men, they're kind of just like, really, most of their lives they're just kind of like influenced to stay single for longer, and find a maybe find a woman if you want to, find somebody else if you want to, but it's just like, it's not as forced on men, I feel, to get into a relationship and then have kids and then all that stuff. It's just like, women, you should want kids, right? No, boo. I don't want kids, nor do I want a husband. No, I'm just kidding. And I don't want to seem like completely anti-male in this video, because it's just like, I'm just speaking on stuff that I feel like has been kind of progressing over the years, honestly, because I feel like obviously it's just like subliminal messages over so many years, and then you kind of get brainwashed into thinking a certain thing, so it's kind of like the norm now, but it doesn't have to be the norm, basically. So let me get back to where I was at. Also, I put just the double standard that girls mature faster. Honestly, I feel like I was always taught or told that women mature faster or girls mature faster, whatever like that, but I feel like that's kind of a brainwashing thing too, because they just want you to seem like you're growing fast, getting older faster, and then but at the same time, it's like women, when you do tend to get older, it's like you can't have wrinkles, you have to look a certain way again. It's still all this stuff that you have to stay within a certain box, you know what I'm saying? You can't be too old, don't look too old, don't express the oldness but still be old. Like, bitch, what? They just want us to be so many different things all at once, and it's just like, what standard do y'all want us to live up to? Actually, how about name one of them? Because I'm going to live my own standard and be my own self. And that's basically what this whole video is all about. Oh yeah, virginity and body counts in general. Basically virginity, I'm seeing a lot about how they were saying that it's not even real. It's just kind of something that, of course they try to make women feel bad about, because it's like you're losing something, or something precious being taken away from you, or whatever like that. And I feel like that's kind of, it's not even, if you think about it, it's not really real, because not every woman has a hymen that's going to be broken when she's being, obviously. So it's just like, not every woman, that doesn't happen. Every situation is not the same. So you can't just say, hey, this is what we're going to call it. a lot of things are just made so that you can be, you know, put into a category, is what I really feel like. And then also body counts. Body counts are stupid because it's just like another thing with trying to put a number on how much of something that you should or should not be doing, basically. You know, like obviously they try to be like, oh, if your body count's higher, then that means that you're a whore or that you're a slut. But then with men, it's like, oh, if they have so many bodies, it's just like he's the dude, he's the man. No. So in parentheses, oh yeah, also let's talk about my hair, because this is the first time that I've been able to put my hair in a ponytail. Well, since it's been in dreads, so alright, so in parentheses I put, I feel like a lot of girls' innocence is taken away from them at an early age because of the typical overprotection from the parents to crack down on not having sex at an early age, that they're too focused on telling us not to have sex and never tell you the risks or explain the birds and the bees. Very true. Because I feel like in the black community, it's just kind of like, maybe not just the black community, but I'm speaking on existence and, you know, experience existence. I'm dead. But yeah, I feel like most of the time most parents, they're focused on relaying the fact that you should not be having sex, or that sex shouldn't even be on your mind, that they're too focused on letting you know that they never actually get around to explaining, you know, obviously the risks, and explaining what this is, what that is, and, you know, everything, all just the parent talk. Honestly, I don't really know how to explain it because I've never had it, but small things, like things that you would read in a book about puberty, just anything, all the stuff about puberty, basically, periods, menstruations, all that stuff. Small things that I feel like parents are kind of nervous or on the edge or on the fence of talking to their kids about. That talk is usually just non-existent, because it's just like, oop, that'll lead into sex. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, well, let's not talk about it, because then they'll ask more questions about sex, and then we don't want to talk about sex. So just not talk about it at all. Alright, so next topic, I'm talking about being black and being a woman, because yeah, most of the trending things that are, you know, going around and all these things, big butts, dark skin, cornrows, may I name any more? Most of these things that are going around, we started it, and it's just like, obviously we're the last ones to get credit, or either we're the ones that's, you know, just discredited completely. So it's just like, I feel like, obviously you feel like, I said, it's like always being stuck between a rock and a hard place, because double minority, we always get the finger pointed back at us. And for example, I was saying, of course, what I just said, and also just having, being suspended from school for having dreadlocks, small things like that. It's just like, after a while, you notice how you basically can never win in this type of society, because no matter what you try to do, wherever you move, it's like they're gonna find a way to make you be the reason for your own unsuccessfulness, you know? So it's just like, okay, well, basically you can't do that, or you can't have this type of clout or whatever like that, this fame, because you were doing this or you were doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like somebody holding something over your head every single time. And it's just like, after a while, obviously it tends to get old, and we're just waiting for our seats to be filled and for our voices to be heard, honestly. And I feel like this is kind of my way, obviously, of expressing how we feel on a very, very, very low scale, because I could talk about this way more, but that would be a completely different video and all that stuff. So I just wanted to talk about being black and being a woman and loving yourself. I feel like that is just a big deal, because most of the time it feels like the whole world is against you, because obviously with the finger pointing. But as long as you love you and y'all love y'all, that's all that matters. So next, I also want to talk on finding yourself. On this part, I put, really, I know a lot of people talk about just finding yourself, yeah, what does it really mean, basically? What's the definition of actually finding yourself, or, all that? So I put here, really meaning becoming conscious of your emotions, because as a child, you're somewhat told how to feel or very easily influenced by your environment. So emotions were exaggerated and blurred. And that's very true. Okay, so basically the things I wanted to talk about was my life before becoming conscious and then after, or whatever, because I feel like kind of, first off, when I have me becoming conscious, it's not just something that like you wake up and it's just like boom, click. No, it's something that over time you'll start to notice stuff about yourself and how you are and why you react certain ways and all the things. It's really about how you react and how you handle certain situations. That's what you'll really notice about yourself. And then it's those things that you start to become aware of, and then you have to learn that, oh shit, this is the stuff that my parents taught me, or this is stuff that I've picked up from my parents, or just from my environment as a child, or just growing up. And then you have to learn to unlearn those things. That's really what I feel like finding yourself is, or becoming conscious is, because it's just like you'll notice that you've been living kind of, just been told a certain way to live, a certain way of life. So now this point in your life is really about unlearning that and actually making decisions based on what you like, what benefits you, what hurts you, all that type of stuff. Literally finding out the ins and outs of Tiara. I'm pointing at you and saying Tiara, of Tiara. So I feel like that's really what being conscious and finding yourself is. And also what I mean when I say like I feel like it was a blur before that, I feel like because it was just kind of like I was going with the flow. Even just kind of comparing my life as a college student before becoming conscious, that part of my life was just kind of like I was there, but it wasn't really like I was doing many things that would benefit me. I wasn't really hanging out with many friends. I would just find myself, going to work, coming back home, doing what I typically do. But it's kind of like saying that you're kind of like depressed, but not necessarily depressed. It's more so just like in a trance of just being so used to doing what you were used to doing for so many years that it's just like, oh shit, now I have to become a person. And you actually find out that you really, it's just like more to life than going to school and going to work. That's simply what I mean. Or either just it's more to life than being upset, or either just, finding shit to complain about. You know what I'm saying? Becoming conscious plus self-aware, I said basically exactly what I was just saying. Examples such as just because you were expressed more anger and not as much affection as a child doesn't mean that that's the way of life. Or just because you grew up in an unhealthy / abusive parent, or grew up with an unhealthy / abusive parent, doesn't mean you have to keep the chain going. Because I feel like life is all about the pursuit of happiness and learning to become the best you can be. I also feel like, by doing your due diligence in the world, by giving back in any way that you possibly can, whether it be, empowering people in whichever form, giving back to, homeless communities or whatever you find your way of giving back. I feel like that's kind of your due diligence while you're here on this earth. And then after that, you'll pass on, and then, your life kind of, your soul kind of is evolved, I've talked about that with my my waxing parlor lady, and she she was talking about that, and she really spoke on like Buddhism. She was saying that that's kind of why she's looking into that, and because she was saying that it's not a religion, it's more of a way of life, and it's kind of like steps and guides on how to become a happier camper and a better person in general. This is kind of really what that's about a little, but more so just a guide to self-loving and finding yourself and becoming actually okay and loving the fact that you're single, also just not, just because your friend is in a relationship doesn't mean that you have to be in a relationship, and also the fact that you have a man at your hip does not mean that you're more worthy than the other person, because I feel like there's some people too there where they've been so brainwashed to the point where it's like, as long as you have somebody with you and you're not by yourself, you're not lonely, then you should be well off, which is not so true, because you can be picking the crappiest person, sorry to say, but this person treats you like absolute shit, but then, okay, I'm in a relationship though. No, sis, because you need to be focusing on yourself, and you need to raise your worth, because it's nowhere near worth it to be being treated like crap, as opposed to being by yourself and single and being the best, happiest person you can ever be, because you're putting yourself first. Also, the last part that I want to get into is just accepting self-loving, because I feel like, yeah, it's easy to just say, yeah, I love myself, but you could just be telling yourself that, you know. And also me too, you know, because I've gotten to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'm telling myself I love myself, but am I actually doing what it takes to really truly show myself and express the loving that I have for myself, you know? Because it's like there's so much that people do to go, you know, to go out of their way to express the loving that they have for somebody else, but at the same time you can't turn around and do something for yourself. It could be something materialistic, but it really doesn't matter, honestly, as long as you are making yourself happy and it's something that is making you feel fulfilled and all that stuff. That's really what matters, and that's the stuff that you should continue doing if it's positive. Hopefully it's positive. And you know, stuff like that is what I really encourage, because it's so much negative in the world that it's just kind of normalized. And the fact that when somebody does something positive, either for themselves or just for a whole bunch of other people, it's just like they're put on a pedestal. And it's just like, okay, so it's normal stuff, or either just being a good person, is that where you're applauded for that now? I mean, accepting self-loving plus enjoying the single life. I put becoming aware of not just my talents, but small things that fill in your day that you like to do by yourself, such as finding new or old activities that you didn't know you liked / were told not to like as a child, which is very, very, very emphasized right now, because activities or extracurricular things that you really loved doing as a child, or just were forced not to do or told not to do as a child, I really think you should pick up again, because you never know, that might be a talent or just something that really, you know, fills your day in or fills your life up, because it could be drawing, skateboarding, running, painting. If you just get up and go for a walk every day, or make a cup of tea every morning, or either just like what I'm doing, burn some incense whenever you want to feel good. Small things like that is what I'm encouraging you to figure out about yourself and implement into your life now, because little things like that is really what will keep you going, and you'll find yourself actually being, you know, putting out better content, you know, making a better, becoming, you know, just expressing better qualities, and lots of different things that you'll find within yourself or figure out about yourself that other people will probably pick up too, that will come just from the little things that you've changed or tweaked in your life. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot better qualities that you haven't figured out about yourself that you have, or either just passions, or either talents, or either weaknesses, you know, things that it's also very good to notice your weaknesses and flaws and stuff like that too, so that you can be well balanced. I'm not just trying to emphasize only noticing things that are good about yourself, because you also have to notice the bad things about yourself too. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to forget about who you were before this stage, because at some point your past selves will come up and they could haunt you, honestly. So basically, just, I would say, you know, love your whole self is what I'm trying to say. Love who you were before, love who you had to be in the past, love who you are now, love who you will become, because you will have to be that person at that time, you know? You have to just evolve and understand that you are evolving, you know what I'm saying? And that you are not perfect and you never will be perfect. Just understand that everybody has things that they like to do, tweaks, twerks, quirks, anything. So it's kind of like I'm telling you guys, but at the same time I'm telling myself this in my head. So I love that I'm actually finally talking on this. I really hope my point came across. Like I said, I'm basically making this video to encourage any and everyone to, I'm reading here, 1, discover your passions is what I put. 2, step out of your comfort zone. That's very important, because it's just like, you can't stay in your comfort zone. You can't expect new things to happen or new things to come your way when you've only stayed within this same little bubble. So please step out of your bubble. And 3, I would say choose joy. Your life isn't defined by how many relationships you've had, it's what you make it. And always understand your worth, boo, because notice red flags when you're being treated less than what you should be treated like. That's when you know when it's time to leave and when it's time to put yourself first. Because if they're not putting you first, then you put yourself first. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you loved it. Stay tuned, stay influenced, stay positive, and like I said, choose joy. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more.